Welcome back to the podcast. We've got a special one. 3 LJOs in one room.
That's right.
Very special.
My father, Larry, and my brother, Lawrence.
Hi, Luke.
We just did a big run this past weekend, river to river relay.
That's right. It was awesome.
We had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Awesome day.
Yeah.
Now, normally we talk in this podcast about art and business and community events, and this is actually one of the biggest running events in the community, so it's very pertinent to this podcast. So we're going to dive into the race, what it was like, your guys' first experience at River to River, and just kind of dive into it all.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
So where do we start, Lawrence?
Well, maybe start at like the beginning phases, like putting the team together, the inspiration behind wanting to run together.
So it started with, I did the River to River last year on a team, and I had a great experience, something that our family has always kind of wanted to do together, and I had a really great time. And then our sister, who's not here, Maggie, she came from all the way from Sweden, and she really was the one that really wanted to get the team together. So that's kind of how the ball got started.
But it goes back years, you know. I mean, all four of us in the family who ran in this have been runners for many years. So this kind of always seemed like, you know, the epitome of a running event, you know. So he's always thought about it. It's always kind of been in the back of our mind. And then you did it last year, the year before, and I don't know. We all decided that this is the year.
Well, and it aligned perfectly with the eclipse.
Yes.
Yeah, the timing worked out really well for Maggie and Morgan, who would be visiting Southern Illinois, to time their trip with the eclipse with the River to River. And then the timing with my timing and schedule worked out too, with my school spring break being now. It all just kind of fit together. Like, oh yeah, this is going to be our year to really do it.
Right.
And our mom, when she made a post on Facebook about the event, she had like mentioned that many years ago as a family we would be like at Waltz on River to River weekend and seeing the runners being there together before the race, and how she always, it was a dream of hers that our family would get to do the race together one day. So
and we
that
did
was
it.
It's our year.
It was, and you can tell we have these awesome finisher shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Hard earned.
You got to earn these. They don't just give these out.
8 runners, 80 miles.
So 80 miles across beautiful Southern Illinois. We started in LaRue Pine Hills, up high on elevation. Dad started the race.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was a leadoff man.
That was really good. Got us on a good foot.
Yeah.
How did they say, we didn't ask you, like, how did they say go?
Well, the guy who was one of the race directors gave a little speech and told us all about the race and what to expect. And then we all lined up, you know, like you would on any kind of a race. And, you know, they said, mark, get set, go. Mm-hmm. And that started an 80-mile venture, you know.
With this
exactly.
baton.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like 3.6 mile stretch that I had to run. And our team, the other 7 runners on the team, were down at the bottom. Then I hand the baton off to Lawrence, and he took it from there. And then it was just like across Southern Illinois for the next, how many hours? I don't know. How long were we running? 8 hours?
We finished in just over 11 hours.
11 hours.
Yes.
11 hours. Yeah. So that's quite an event.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was like we started running, like literally, but also just the pace of the day was very fast.
Yeah.
Like whenever we would get in the car and then drive to the next person, it was just like a constant moving and keeping up with our team, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. It was. Yeah.
And exciting.
But we should talk a little bit about, you know, the people on the team, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We had, like we were mentioning, the family, the 4 of us, Lawrence, Luke, their sister Maggie, and me. We, of course, have been runners for a long time, so we were kind of the nucleus of the team. So we wanted, you know, we need 8 people on the team. So then we picked up our cousin Heather Molenbrock's husband, Dr. Blake Kane, he was a big addition to the team.
He was. That was awesome.
And Maggie's fiance, Morgan Bentel from Stockholm, Sweden, was on the team. He's a big runner. So that got us to 6, but we had a little trouble picking up two other runners.
Who would have thunk it would have been hard to convince someone to run 80 miles in one day?
Seriously, we had a few who were interested, but then they backed out the last minute for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And then we picked up my nephew, 13-year-old nephew, our 13-year-old nephew, your cousin's. No, not your cousin, your second cousin. Yeah. Oliver Pender is a 13-year-old young guy from Johnson City, and he joined the team, and he was just great. He's one of the highlights of the day, really.
Definitely.
Maybe you'll talk about him later. So we got Oliver Pender, and then another guy named Kevin, and Luke, what's his last name?
Kevin Maynard.
Okay. And he's from up north.
Yeah, from the Quad City area.
Yeah. So
That was 8.
That was our 8-person team. And it was a good group, you know. Everybody was encouraging and, you know, fun. And it was just a great day for us all, you know.
It was.
Yeah.
And the team name was
O'Neill and Company.
That's right.
Exactly.
Because of how many O'Neills were on the, half the team, basically.
Right. Right.
And Dad, you'd mentioned we are all been runners.
Yes.
And you started that with the Chicago Marathon. Do you remember what year that was?
I think it was 82.
Wow.
82 or 83. Something like that, yes.
So you've been a runner a long time.
Long time. Yes, long time. Yeah. Yeah. So keep going, you know. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That,
and so
I feel lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I'm 67, you know. So that was great. You know, that was one of the highlights of this event for me is to run it with 3 kids, you know. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I think something that's cool about this event, like we said, a lot of us are runners or have like ran marathons or those type of races.
Yeah,
but
we all ran marathons.
this race was so different because it is like a relay race. So like the energy of it is different than like a marathon, and that like it's less isolated. And like you really are pushing yourself for your team. Like you want to do well, not only for yourself, but you want your team to do well.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a motivating factor of the day too, in the teamwork aspect of it all and working hard for your team.
Yeah, because running is kind of a solitary activity, but then we're on this team, this relay team, you know? That was a cool part of this event too.
Yeah.
I love the team. You know, root each other on, go down and cheer them across the handoff exchange.
Get some kills.
Which we got a lot.
That's funny.
So someone asked, were you guys competitive? I said, well, we were tracking kills.
I would say we were competitive.
We were competitive.
I think everybody tried hard every time they went out there to run.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know, and that's again different thing from a marathon. A marathon, you're not running hard for 26.2 miles.
Right.
Here, you know, you had like basically roughly 3 mile stretches that you had to run, and you kind of ran fast. You know, you kind of were racing. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Totally different type of running than we really do.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, who's going to mention the hills?
I guess now's a good time.
Well, Luke, you had some big hills.
Oh gosh, I know. So whenever
Everybody did.
Yeah.
So whenever we decided to do this, there has to be a team captain, team manager.
You did a great job.
And since I had been the only one to do it before, everybody else was noobs, first timers. So I had to break up the running order and decide who runs where. Well, I was going to give Kevin the hard one. Kevin?
Yeah, he wouldn't know any better.
No.
Kevin's done 50 milers, he came from afar. But then I was like, no, I've got to do it after talking to Maggie. So, yeah, there was huge hills throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody thinks Southern Illinois is flat, just go to the river and you'll see it's completely not.
Right.
A lot of hills.
Right. Everybody had hills at one time or another.
Yes, everybody did.
Yeah.
There's not an easy stretch of any of it.
No.
Actually.
No. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. But Luke had the monster hill,
I did the hardest.
the hardest hill.
Yes.
Boy,
It was the last one. My legs were dead.
yeah,
And it went on for a long time. It was a long, big hill.
yes.
Yes. I said if we do it again next year, I'm giving that one to Maggie.
She could do it.
Yeah, our top runner.
Oh, it only took you 3 days to recover from that hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm still recovering.
It's still not the same.
Still not fully there. I mean, we really did. It's something to have a team go across basically a mountain, climb a mountain together, and just kind of root each other on and see each other across the finish line, and to be able to do more than you thought you could when the day started.
Well, that's a kind of an interesting part of the story. I mean, before the race, we didn't know how well we'd do, so we were worried about like finishing within the allotted time,
Yeah.
and we greatly exceeded those expectations. I mean, we did really well,
Yeah.
We did. We placed 57th out of like 195,
Yeah.
which is in the top third,
That's great.
and
Came in way ahead of time.
way
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned, Dad, our youngest being 13 and our oldest being 67. I feel like they should have given us an award just for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we deserve that. Yes.
Diverse age range.
Yeah.
But also, 7 of the 8 teammates were family members of ours. And we were one away
That's cool.
from a full family team, which if we were a full family team, we would have placed second in the family category.
Well, that's amazing.
So that's
Yeah.
another big surprise, and
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
proud of our team for
Yeah.
being able to do that.
Yeah. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, like you said, Dad, we went into it not knowing how well we would do. So we're thinking, hopefully we finish by time it get dark. Then as we started running
Yeah.
and seeing how well everyone was doing, think, maybe we'll make the award ceremony.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, maybe we'll beat 6 o'clock. And I think we did. I think we finished like at 5:55.
We did.
Definitely.
We finished before 6.
Yeah.
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 And a fun thing, so this we've mentioned a little bit, but the difference between this race and others is just the fun aspect, the atmosphere of how
Sure.
people just get into it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the decorating of the vans with different decorations or car chalk, or at the finish line, people can put on costumes, which we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did.
We did.
Yes, we did. We don't usually wear Viking helmets.
No, we don't. But we did.
Well, we did. We crossed the finish line wearing Viking helmets. Well, maybe you should tell us why we had Viking helmets.
Well, Maggie and Morgan traveled from Sweden to be a part of this race. And obviously, if you know Sweden, Vikings.
Right.
So that was kind of a nod
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we had people come all the way from Sweden to be on the team.
Yeah.
From New York City being on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really great.
Yeah. The helmets were a fun idea.
It was
Just
fun.
added to the theatrics and excitement of everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
Here's a picture of our team crossing the finish line. Right there. Or that's us. So shout out to everybody. We've got at the end of the race, go down to the river, get your picture on the Ohio.
Ohio.
There's me and my dad at the end in the limo.
Yes.
That was a fun.
That was a rocking drive. Raucous.
There's the van, O'Neill and Company, all the way from Sweden. There's the Viking helmets. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There's me, Lawrence, and Blake
How funny.
crossing the finish line in Golconda.
That's Lawrence, isn't it?
Yeah, Lawrence, Blake, me. Let's see what else. And there we are, O'Neill and Company on the shirts.
That's awesome.
Etched our name in there, didn't we?
Right on.
Got it.
And another thing that's memorable from this race, not only the beautiful Southern Illinois countryside, but you go through little towns, and and the people in the communities were very supportive. And you had to also like tip your hat and be amazed at the logistical accomplishment And the volunteer work that goes into this kind of an event is just really, really striking and a cool thing, you know?
Absolutely. I think they said 2,000 runners
Wow.
ran in this event. That's a lot of people.
Boy, and they have it like clockwork too. They've got it down. It's a smooth running operation, really.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a great event for Southern Illinois.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite part or a hardest part? What were those?
Well, I think my favorite part, I think, was just how we kind of all exceeded our expectations of how well we did, and just seeing how hard everybody was working and how well everyone ran, and just like having that as a big accomplishment for all of us coming together and our hard work being so exciting. And hardest part, in my third round or whatever, I had a really big hill, or a couple big hills, and that being the third one, we already ran probably over like 7-ish miles, so that was the hardest part.
3 hard races in one day for each person, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Dad?
Well, the snacks were good. I don't know. I guess my favorite part was, well, maybe when I finished that first stretch, because it was such a great unknown, when you start the race. You guys dropped me off at the top of that hill, as the first runner, and you really don't know how things are going to go, And so then when I finished that first stretch, I felt really good. And they're like, wow. And then by the time I got to the exchange station at the end of my first run, everybody's out there, and our teammates are like, high five and everything. And it was like, all right, this is going to be like a really cool event. That was pretty neat. The hardest part, I guess, was in my second stretch. I ran by Blue Sky and then kept, then we went south there, and I had like a steady rolling hills for a lot of that stretch. And that was a difficult stretch,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of hard.
The hills are the hardest.
Yeah, the hills were hard there. That was a rough one.
Yeah. It was, but you just kind of dig in, and it's going to end at some point, and you just keep going.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
What option do you have?
Yeah.
You got teammates waiting on you, like, where are they? We're at the exchange. Where's my team?
Exactly. Yeah. So.
What about you, Luke?
I think just, there was just so much anticipation, like getting ready, waking up early, making sure everyone's where they need to be, and just kind of the whole build up. But then the day, I guess obviously that hard hill was the hardest, and I was so exhausted after that. Mm-hmm. And the best part though, just kind of bringing everybody together, just kind of doing something together that's hard, that, is just to do it.
Sure.
Just to say you did that.
You did a great job of organizing the team. It's a lot of little details and headaches to go with it, but you did a great job.
Yeah, you did.
And it was cool. Maybe the night before the race was nice that everybody came together at our house.
Yeah.
Somebody was.
Sure.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, so the evening before the race, our mom and dad got a lot of Walt's pizzas, kind of a nostalgic nod to like all those Friday evenings, seeing the River to River runners at Walt's the evening before.
Right.
So I got a lot of Walt's pizzas. I had just gotten in from traveling from New York.
Like hours before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got home around 6 p.m. So,
wow.
And then Blake was also traveling from Springfield, and then Oliver came over from Johnson City, and then we all had pizza together, and just talked about logistics of everything. And
Oliver came over for pizza and spent the night at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, Oliver Pinder, he had a great day out there.
He did.
He did really, really well, performed well, and got to give him a lot of credit because he's just a little teenager.
Yeah, I know.
And going into the unknown, but he never doubted it for a second.
No, he jumped right in and just went with it.
And there was one point, I mean, he was passing people, he was giving it his all, and at one point he was in a race with somebody at his last exchange, and they were running, and then Oliver passed him right at the end.
Yeah.
So that just, competitive spirit and just having fun.
No, he was very calm and seemed unfazed by.
Yeah, he did. You know, I mean,
but excited.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights.
Oh yeah, I do have some messages here that we're gonna play from some of the teammates. So we have a message from one of our runners, Blake Kane.
Okay.
Here we go.
Growing up in Southern Illinois, we'd always heard about the River to River Relay and the River to River Trail, but I didn't realize until this past weekend just how amazing this relay is. You know, this was my first official race as a runner, and I'd always known or heard at least that the running community was supportive and that, people always tended to gather in large communities in running. However, this was pretty amazing to see just a huge community, both of runners as well as the local community, come out and just have a really great experience. The running itself was hard. The hills were quite daunting and tiring, but even now, when I think about this past weekend, I just smile. It was just such an awesome experience to be with 7 other, friends and family, and just have this bonding experience, going through this relay and these hills and just this whole race. It was pretty awesome. It's something that I'm definitely looking forward to doing again. And I really appreciated the opportunity to be able to be with such a great group of runners and made new friends and got to hang out with old friends and family. So looking forward to next year. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay, Blake.
His first running race, his first appearance as a runner.
How about
Awesome.
that?
He seems hooked.
Yeah. That's awesome. The first run. I mean, that's not an easy one at all to start with. I mean,
to say the least.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Awesome. Good job, Blake.
Yeah.
Super happy to have you on the team.
Yeah, he was good addition. Great to have him.
All right. So next up is Maggie O'Neill. Let's see what she has to say about her River to River experience.
Hi, Luke and River to River team. This is Maggie, and I'm calling in from Stockholm. I'm back in Stockholm, Sweden, but still really on the high from the River to River relay. It was so much fun, and to call it special is really quite an understatement, but I had really looked forward to the event, and I knew that it would be exciting and unique, and it really exceeded all of my expectations. The best thing, I guess, of course, would have to be just running with the family, with Dad and Luke and Lawrence, Blake, Oliver, and my longtime partner, Morgan. It was just so special, and the relay aspect of it was really fun. And I guess if I were to say my favorite part of the day or of the race itself would be just watching all of the exchanges and participating in the exchanges of the baton. It was really special and different than running that you typically do. So I really enjoyed cheering on people as they approached the exchange and seeing the next runner off. It was really, really special. I hope you all are still feeling good after the race and look forward to hopefully doing another one soon.
Yay, Maggie.
That's our Maggie.
Another positive review.
Yeah.
Super great.
Yeah.
Super great. And we've got one more from Kevin.
All right.
All right, Kevin. Thanks for sending this. We'll see what we got.
This was my first river-to-river relay experience. I really did not know what I was getting myself into even after I accepted the invitation from Luke. But I really enjoyed the format of the race. Instead of just running the 10 miles that I would end up running all at once, I got to split that up between 3 different legs. And doing that allowed me as a runner to be able to really push harder and see how fast I could go on a shorter distance. But I also was surprised at, how quickly the day actually passed. I mean, we were in the van just doing the race for 11 hours, not including the travel there and back. But it felt like it moved so much quicker. I think that's a testament to the group that I was with. But I also was really impressed by the race organizers, how thought out the trail was, just how incredible the volunteers were at the exchange sites, and really just everybody who was running that race wanting to have a good time.
Totally.
Very true.
That's very good.
Thank you, Kevin. Very true.
He was a good teammate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin because coming into a group, he doesn't know anybody here.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey, yeah, I'll come down from the Quad Cities and join this relay team.
Yeah.
And shout out to Josh Pinson for connecting too. Maybe next year, Josh. We'll see. Just putting that out there. So what a cool group, man. Just such a high. It's just one of those things you can't really totally describe, and you don't know what to expect and how to replicate that experience. It's just so unique. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just hope other people get to do it. Like if you're thinking about running or like inspired by people who run, go for it, try it out. We were talking to our cousin Heather yesterday, who's starting running, and just sharing some encouragement and advice. Like if you can push yourself to do more than you think you can, and like finding that balance as a runner to always push yourself but not overdo it. And just like that mental aspect of running like can't be emphasized enough, like believing in yourself and pushing yourself to do more.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see all the runners out there, all ages, I mean, you can't help but like be impressed with, all the people that you see who are, active and healthy and, positive things that they're doing,
The running community is a great community to be a part of.
Yeah.
Extremely
Yeah.
positive
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
people that do more. This event is obviously a lot about the camaraderie too.
For sure.
And support. I mean, the running community is just a great community to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
That's
it's
right.
not easy.
Yeah.
I think as a runner, you recognize it's not easy to run, and river to river is certainly not an easy course to run. So really uplifting, how the strength of runners and the hard work, that's part of a community and a team that we did with each other too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's so many benefits to running that anybody that wants to get into it, I think should. I think if you can do 1 mile, you can do 10. Now, there's just building blocks to get there, but it's a lot of discipline, dedication, and self-belief, like you said, Lawrence. But you can do it. Dad, what do you love about running?
Well, I guess
Why have you ran for decades and decades since so long?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I played a lot of sports when I was a kid, so I've always been kind of active, and then running was just kind of like the next step for me when you're not playing sports anymore when you're older. And, it was like a way to stay physically active and, stay in shape, and it was always a nice way to clear your head, from, work or school or whatever it was. And I like, the discipline of it, I think, was helpful to me too. And it was fun. It's fun to run with people, but I enjoy also the solitary nature of it too. A lot of the times, like again, that goes with like clearing your head. Like I mean, you don't have to like meet somebody to play a game of tennis or golf with. You just step outside your door and you just kind of like you go. And we live out in the country, and you get to run some beautiful areas, and that kind of thing. So,
and there's some history with the O'Neills when it comes to running, right?
Yeah, my dad's family. My dad was he wasn't a big runner. He played basketball and other sports, but his father and my dad's uncles, my grandfather's brothers, they were all like really outstanding runners, And I remember when I was a kid, there was this newspaper headline from a Chicago newspaper, and I can't remember which one it was, but the headline was O'Neill brothers finish first and second in Chicago road race, and that was my grandfather and his brother Tom. There was this big event, road race in Chicago, and they came in first and second. Tom came in first. He went on to a track scholarship to Western Michigan University, which was unheard of. Like someone from that generation even went to college, So my dad's family has like runners in their, in their family tree,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the apple didn't fall too far that one.
No, and it's still falling.
That's right. Continuing the legacy of the runners.
Yeah.
And I think, just getting started, you said, Dad, the discipline, the solitude, the mental clarity that running can provide. When do you get a chance to be by yourself?
Right.
Running, clearing your head, and also just kind of breathing. Because
sure.
Obviously this breathing is a huge part of running too. That is so beneficial.
Yeah, it is.
For me.
For me too. I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah.
For me, it works.
Yeah.
I think echoing all those reasons why Dad loves running, I do too, but there's also like an experience that can be like associated with running too, like a river to river race or a marathon or smaller local races. Like those are opportunities that running can also bring people to, like really awesome experiences through running.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to travel to Stockholm to do the Stockholm Marathon with Maggie. I mean, how cool of an experience is that? You're absolutely right.
A total life experience.
And when I did my marathon at Wren Lake, Dad did the half marathon, so we got to experience that together too.
That was really a cool thing to.
So it's just provided so many awesome opportunities for us, and this River to River Relay is the most recent example, and a huge, probably the best.
I was going to say it's not just the most recent example; it's probably the epitome. Really,
it is. Yeah. No.
I mean, well, that's
I think so.
Hyperbole, but it was really great. I mean, a really great experience for all the reasons we've been talking about, and then Blake and Maggie mentioned too.
Yeah.
And Kevin. Yeah.
So any other things you guys want to share about the River to River Relay? For anybody that doesn't know about it, or even somebody that wants to try to get into it next year.
Well, if you're even curious about it, I would say, pursue it, because it's, like we just said, a wonderful experience, a fantastic day, and pursue it if you're curious at all. And like maybe take small steps to start your running journey if that's where you are. Like even on the race, there's a wide range of people's running abilities, ages. So, start where you are, start slow, like stay healthy and safe, don't injure yourself. But start small and make small steps.
That's right. One step at a time. Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
That's right.
Any final words, Dad?
It's just been really a special event. It was a special training for it. It was really special that people came. Maggie and Morgan came from Stockholm. Lawrence came in from New York. We had all these other family members on the team. That all made it really special, And again, it was wonderful to be a part of some major event in Southern Illinois and be, have all these community people involved and all the runners who came from probably all over the country, across this beautiful part of the state, from the Mississippi to the Ohio. I mean, it's a pretty special event in every way. It was great to be a part of it.
It really was. And one last exchange. The midpoint of the race was in Goreville. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And there was almost like a comedian guy with a microphone.
Yes.
He said, "Who's traveled the farthest?" And someone yelled somewhere, and then Colorado. He's like, "Who can beat Colorado?" I said, "Sweden." And he goes, "Where's the Swede?" Morgan raises his hand.
Step right up.
All the way from Sweden.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Love it. There's just so many fun moments from the day that, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, really.
Yeah.
Oh, finally, 2024, River to River.
There it is.
You guys want to show the pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, really, it's Dad passing to me is the
That's
authentic way.
There it is.
There you
goes.
go. We're off.
That's the relay exchange,
off.
and you just run. Well, thanks, guys, for coming on. Doing
a
a
lot of fun.
little reflection, little timepiece here that we'll be able to look back on and share, and hopefully get some more people inspired to start their running journeys.
That's wonderful.
Great.
Thanks a lot, Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, guys. All right.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Okay.
That went pretty well.
Press save.
I was recording.